Is on. Anyway, here's what Charlie's going to talk about. Wall Street powerhouse Citigroup ramping up its social media team and tracking one of its biggest enemies on Capitol Hill. The bank reportedly tracking Senator Elizabeth Warren's every move. You've got details. Good story, different story. I thought you were going to come on and talk about something else today.
Like what?
Okay. I thought we were going to talk about Google.
Well,
with Pratt.
Well,
because they basically told you in an email this morning that what is she, Santa Claus, that she's getting $70 million. But anyway.
Well, if she's Santa Claus, I guess what would you call Elizabeth Warren to Citigroup? The Grim Reaper. Anyway, that's how they think of it over there. So here's what we know. Since December, Citigroup has essentially launched an effort internally to monitor, I call it spy, but you can call it monitor, just about every statement Elizabeth Warren, the senator from Massachusetts, the famously populist anti-bank senator from Massachusetts, says about the firm, about the banking industry. What they are really concerned about is that her words, that they somehow will get traction on social media, impact the Democratic Party, and force Democrats to impose stricter sanctions against the banks, ramp up Dodd-Frank, and possibly even break up Citigroup. Well, we understand Citigroup is really worried about the fact that Warren, in the December 12th speech on the Senate floor, which essentially went viral on YouTube, over 600,000 views of the speech, she sat there. She basically said Citigroup is one of the worst companies known to mankind. They were bailed out during the financial crisis. And on top of that, they're screwing around with Dodd-Frank, using their power and lobbying influence to water down banking regulations. And by the way, they should have been broken up by Dodd-Frank. This is what Senator Warren said, and then called for a breakup of all the banks. So since that time, Citigroup has launched an effort. From what I understand, it's being done by the marketing team, where they look at just about everything she says and whether it's having traction on social media and having traction with Democrats in Washington, and possibly even the Democratic candidate the likely Democratic candidate for president in 2016, Hillary Clinton. We should point out that one of the big issues here is that Citigroup is worried about reputational damage. They're worried about a breakup, but they're also worried about, does this hurt them with major clients? The jury's still out whether that's going to happen, but they clearly are monitoring the situation very closely with an eye on everything Senator Warren says. We should also point out that as we break this story, there have been other published reports today that banks are basically threatening other Democrats that if Elizabeth Warren does not back down from her anti-bank rhetoric, they will withhold campaign contributions to Democratic politicians. So it's getting pretty...
And that could work.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. It's getting pretty ugly, but clearly inside Citigroup, they have essentially launched an effort to watch everything she says and what impact it's having based on that December 12th Senate floor speech, which I think if you use the word freaked out the senior executives at Citigroup, including Mike Corbat, the CEO, it is not too strong of a word. They are freaked out because she said in no uncertain terms, we need to break these guys up, including Citigroup. They're too big, too powerful. And by the way, they screwed over the whole country back in 2008. So that's where we are right now. I'm going to have a full report on foxbusiness.com where you can read it. Citigroup, we should point out, is not denying this. They actually said that it would be foolish for them not to follow what is said about them. They say they don't go after they don't spy on individuals. They look at stories and issues, but clearly they have an eye on Senator Warren. Senator Warren's office did not return calls or emails for comment.
Full story, foxbusiness.com.
Yes.
Charlie, thank you very much.
Okay.
I like the glasses.
Thank you.